This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Tasmania's Electoral Commissioner is seeking advice following an unprecedented move by Glenorchy City Council aldermen. 7 of the suspended councillors have put forward notices of resignation. The Solicitor General is investigating whether it's possible under the Local Government Act and will report back to the Commissioner.
Very clear that a suspended alderman does not have a position to resign from, and therefore I would expect that we'd go forward with the bill that I've introduced to dismiss the council.
If the resignations are successful, it's likely to result in a countback with the possibility of a by-election. Legislation to dismiss the council will be debated when Parliament resumes next week. A 35-year-old inmate has been treated for serious facial injuries following an alleged assault at Risdon Prison. 2 other inmates are now facing charges, while it's understood no staff were injured. Our reporter Jacqueline Robson has more.
The 35-year-old victim was taken here to the Royal Hobart Hospital yesterday afternoon. It's alleged he was attacked by 2 inmates at Risdon Prison in the maximum security exercise yard just after 3 p.m. Prisoner advocates say inmates fear for their safety as overcrowding puts pressure on the system.
The security of the prison breaks down because you've just got too many people in there. That's what happens. It's a dangerous place for staff and a dangerous place for prisoners.
It's the latest attack allegation in a number of incidents at the complex. The prisoner's legal service says earlier this week another violent incident broke out. The new Corrections Minister maintains extra resources, including new beds, will help ease the strain.
That's why we're doing the investigations into more accommodation, more beds and more units.
We do know that staff are extremely concerned and that their fears that they've been talking about for some time may now be actually being realised.
The alleged attackers, both aged in their mid-20s, are now facing charges. The victim has received his treatment and has since been returned to the prison.
750 new Tasmanian apprenticeships are expected to be offered under a grant extension scheme. The state government today announcing it will provide an additional $3 million over 2 years to help Tasmanian businesses put on new trainees. Under the scheme, businesses can apply for $4,000 grants.
And we want to ensure that we continue to provide support for young Tasmanians to have an opportunity here in Tasmania for an apprenticeship or a trainee.
So it's fantastic. For us, obviously putting on an apprentice is, it's a lot of work, a lot of efforts, financially and time-wise, and just having this grant, makes it a little bit easier, I guess, for us.
$2 million for the initial grant scheme was announced in this year's budget, but is already oversubscribed. The Tasmanian Liberal Party has announced its lineup of candidates for the Denison electorate, 5 months out from the state election. Hobart Lord Mayor Sue Hickey is now officially in the running, alongside a suite of candidates from the small business sector.
A day at the show is a day at the office. The Premier announcing the Liberals' fresh lineup of pre-selected Denison candidates for the upcoming state election.
We are a party of renewal, we're a party of depth, a party that is very much focused on providing a strong team.
Among the team, Minister Elise Archer and the Hobart Lord Mayor not present today. It's alongside a suite of new candidates from the small business sector, Christy Johnson, not to be confused with the Glenorchy Mayor.
It's an interesting quirk of fate. But this Christy Johnson has an extraordinary track record as a member of the local community, as a successful business operator.
It's not the first time Tasmanians have become confused with names.
Case in point being when Ken Bacon was elected with a number of voters thinking he was related to Jim Bacon.
It's a diverse mix for the party, a commitment to more women with 3 for the Denison seat. Simon Barakis hoping to entice more ethnicity into the party.
I'd like to see a lot more ethnic people becoming politically active, because I think a lot of people have really just focused on their business and focused on taking care of their families.
The opposition not far from the eyes of the Liberals. Today all but locking in the Denison race, with independent candidates less likely as a March polling day looms.
We still don't know exactly what's going on with Christy Johnston because of the Glenorchy situation, so it's conceivable she might still bob up as a candidate, but looking less likely now.
The Liberals will announce the remaining electorates in coming weeks. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
A man accused of holding up the ANZ Bank at Mowbray with a knife has had his matter adjourned. Marcus Dennis Main has been charged with armed robbery, drug possession, resisting and threatening police. Main has been remanded in custody to reappear before the Launceston Magistrates Court on November 30. The Tasmania Fire Service has brought in the country's biggest aerial water bomber to help battle a bushfire burning near St Helens. The large air tanker called Thor arrived last night as the East Coast blaze is expected to intensify.
Flying in from New South Wales, this aircraft is set to boost Tasmania's firefighting capacity. Thor and its 10-man crew arrived in Launceston last night, ready to join the East Coast fire fight.
With houses under threat and things like this, and people's lives possibly in danger, it's a threat that we can't ignore and we can't take lightly.
Crews have been battling the bushfire burning 10 kilometres west of St Helens near Goshen for the past 10 days. Last Friday, the blaze threatened Terryvale Road, coming within 50 metres of homes. Almost 100 firefighters are still on the ground, and an advice warning is still in place for many nearby residents. This latest deployment is aimed at stopping the fire from spreading.
We can put out 15,000 litres in a line of retardant and gel in a line of about 800 metres long, 30 metres wide, and we'll do that in about 30 seconds.
The TFS expects the blaze to become more aggressive over the weekend and potentially threaten Upper Scamander and Trout Creek as wind picks up.
We have a flight time here to the fire of about 11 minutes, so we can be back and forth numerous times over a short period of time.
It's a very responsive aircraft. In flight, the engines operate at 100% RPM the entire time.
The aircraft will be based at the Launceston Airport for the next 5 days and will need to return there to reload.
It's about 12 minutes to load the 15,000 litres.
East Coast residents and tourists are urged to remain vigilant and have a bushfire evacuation plan in place as the fire remains unpredictable.
As fires know no boundaries.
Monique Dadson at Southern Cross News.
This year's Royal Hobart Show has already exceeded organisers' expectations, with visitor numbers reaching over 17,000 today. Crowds coming back for their old favourites and some unusual attractions.
A wet and wild time at the 195th Royal Hobart Show. Visitors of all ages soaking up the atmosphere and adrenaline on rides such as the Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, it felt like that we were flying. Yeah, going down a hill, that was scary. It was so scary.
Absolutely loved it. Some seriously tough competition at the Celebrity Soaring Ring, with the show's CEO this year claiming the famous title.
Yes, Craig Farrell's held the title for 2 years, so I have to say I'm very happy about seeing the back of Craig today.
Despite concerns there could be low crowd attendance and waning interest in the event due to the Devonport show recently being cancelled just 6 weeks out, organisers say there's been a strong show of support. They expected 15,000 punters today, but it reached over 17,000 by early this afternoon.
It's run really smoothly, which is a good sign.
Rides such as this one that keeps visitors coming back time and time again.
At the animal nursery, things were a bit calmer, a trusty warm and fuzzy tradition to keep the young and old entertained.
When we were little children, yes, because Mum brought us on the train. It's gone through the roof. It's just beautiful now, it really is.
While ferrets such as Mayhem proved to be an unusual crowd attraction.
He's a twin brother and his brother's Mischief, and they live up to their reputation.
This year's People's Day also living up to its reputation, many not leaving until they'd had their Dagwood dog. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Long-time gay rights activist Rodney Croom is urging young Tasmanians to post their vote in the same-sex marriage survey.
Never have young people in Australia had so much power to influence the direction our nation takes. That's why I urge all young people to fill out their ballots, vote yes, and return them as soon as possible.
Every yes vote is a vote to say to young gay people like myself, kids of rainbow families, that in this country they're supported.
ABS statistics show 40% of those under the age of 35 still haven't had their say. The cut-off date to return the ballot is the 7th of November. Now to some incredible footage of whales putting on a show at Badger Head yesterday. The 2 humpback whales were seen on the north coast, although most sightings occur on the east coast. Humpback whales travel north from June to September to the waters of southern Australia and return southward between September and late October. A proportion of the population give birth in Tasmanian waters. Tasmania will host its first ever chamber music festival this weekend, attracting hundreds from across the country and the world. Historic Evandale will be home to the event, which will also showcase the state's produce and wine.
Music festivals are done all over the world, but there hasn't really been one in Tasmania. There certainly was Hobart Baroque down in Hobart, so this is a chance to start an actual Tasmanian chamber music festival.
The sold-out 3-day event will begin on Friday. Now let's take a look at the day's business and finance with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The share market has rallied to close higher after a drop in iron ore prices and a poorly received financial result from ANZ dominated early trade. The ASX 200 index has risen by 10.7 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 77.14 US cents and 87.48 Japanese yen.
Kingston's Twin Ovals will play host to a pre-season AFL match for the first time in the ground's history, with thousands expected to turn out to watch February's JLT game. But AFL Tasmania admits there's a lot of work to be done to get the venue ready. Tasmania was only contracted to host the one JLT pre-season match, so the announcement of a second was welcome news for the footballing community.
And they visited, they've been down 3 times in the last 6 months. They've gone back and said that the AFL accredited stadiums are UTAS, Launceston Arena and Twin Ovals.
North Hobart missing out based purely on the dimensions of the oval. So Kingston's Twin Ovals will host a February 24 match between North Melbourne and Melbourne. AFL Tasmania are expecting around 8,000 fans to turn out, meaning they need to get a wriggle on to make it AFL ready.
Absolutely accept that we've got a lot of work to do. We appointed a working group yesterday that will work closely with all the local stakeholders. The last thing we want to do is have this opportunity and then have a collection of congestion trying to get in and out. Broadcast towers, as well as other modifications that will need to be made to coaches' boxes. The rest is a bit more local as to how much stadiums, grandstands and the like we need to put in place.
Pre-season footy will return to the north of the state, with Hawthorn to face Carlton in week 3.
Yeah, Hawks v Blues, 7:05, Saturday the 10th of March, which is a long weekend, so you'd have to think there's a lot to like about going and watching the game.
The state is likely to miss out on an AFLW match next year, with a fixture to be released next week. But providing all goes smoothly in the JLT matches, AFL football could become a much more regular occurrence in the state come the following year.
If you go forward to 2019, there'll be the Tassie Kangaroos, there could be 2 JLT games rolling into the main fixture. All of a sudden you've got footy February till the very end of August, pretty good outcome.
Wild weather has halted Tasmania's hopes of a strong start to its Sheffield Shield campaign, with rain delaying the start of the Tigers' opening match against the Warriors in Western Australia a short time ago. The pitch remains covered for now, with play hoping to begin shortly. Axemen have made the most of perfect conditions at today's Royal Hobart show, putting on an impressive display of strength and technique in today's wood chopping on the showground's main arena.
We've had the 14-inch stand and block state title, won by Cody Steers. That was a fantastic event, good turnout, but probably the highlight for us for the Hobart show is the Greg Lovell Memorial.
But if you missed today's competition, don't stress. The wood chopping continues tomorrow and Saturday.
Good evening. Well, tomorrow is National Bandana Day, where Canteen raise funds for young people with cancer. Go on, you'll see the stalls, buy yourself a bandana, you'll be supporting a worthy cause, and they look great. on most people. Hobart 18 today, Launceston 20, Burnie 16 and Devonport 17 degrees. 22 was the high at Scotts Peaks Dam. Bushy Park and Ooze not far behind on 21. Campania 20, Flinders Island, Grove and Friendly Beaches 19 today. King Island and Strawn 18, St Helens 17, Low Head and Wynyard 16 degrees. You're wondering why I've got a red and white one, aren't you? Not much rain with that system moving across today. Plenty of cloud though moving with that. Good day for the Royal Hobart Show. Some low cloud though over Tasmania and parts of the southeast mainland. Surface and upper level troughs have cloud extending over southwestern Queensland and the New South Wales Victorian border, and also a cloud band near WA. Closer in, convective cloud over most of the state today, but not much rain. Tomorrow the front crosses the Bight, heading our way of course. A trough extends from this system north over the mainland. A trough also lies over the eastern states. The winds north-northeasterly increasing to 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots over the east and south with slight swells. Strong wind warning from St Helens Point all the way down and around and back up to Stanley. A small craft wind alert for the Central Plateau Lakes. A mostly sunny Friday for Hobart, warming up to 24. 24 also for Huonville and Campania, all looking fine. Possible late rain for Launceston after a fine day, 21 the top, 18 for Devonport with a similar forecast. Mostly sunny though for Georgetown and 18 degrees. Late rain possibly for Burnie and a storm thrown in, 17, 23 for Strawn with that storm later, 17 for Wynyard with that similar forecast. Partly cloudy or a little bit sunny over the east. St Helens 19, 23 for Swansea, Port Arthur 21 degrees with a bit of wind thrown in. UV high for all centres. On Saturday, showers across the state contracting to the far southwest during the evening. Showers over the north on Sunday increasing over the north and west as the day progresses. Showers will develop over other regions later in the day. More showers on Monday contracting to the west by evening, and a shower in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow. A sunny day for Melbourne ahead of an evening shower. A little bit of a light rain for Sydney clearing, also sunny weather for Brisbane. A possible storm forecast for Darwin to complete that picture. And currently 15 degrees and partly cloudy in Hobart, partly cloudy in Launceston, and 16, 14 right now in Devonport and Clear. And Joe, we hope everybody supports Canteen and Bandana Day tomorrow, not only raising funds for the Looking for a Cure for the illness, but also programs that help young people prepare themselves for what's ahead, and also knowing that they're not alone with their illness. So it's a worthy cause.
Oh, it certainly is, and so many Tasmanian kids benefit from it, don't they? Thank you very much for that, Murph. Good luck to the Canteen team tomorrow with their fundraising. Well, that's all from our team for now. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you throughout the evening with updates. Bye-bye.